Alright guys, welcome to this section. Also, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good day. Yeah, anytime I'm sitting here getting to see this again, I am greeting you, and this is like an heartfelt greeting from me to you guys. Yeah, so today I want to dive into the practical aspect of what we discussed earlier about the brand identity design, where we talk about different types of logo. And I also made mention that logo is not brand identity design, but logo is part of the brand identity process. Now when we're talking about brand identity process, we have the logo, we have the typography, we have the color palette, we have the tone, the voice, deals with the brand mission, the brand vision, the objectives of the brand. It's a niche on its own. It's so wide, you understand? But don't worry, I'm going to simplify everything for you. You understand? Do you get? So today I'm going to be taking you through every of those simple steps, and just for us to come up with a very good brand identity for our client. So today, just because it's a new project and it's a new challenge, so I'm also challenging myself, also challenging you guys also. So we're going to be creating a new fictional design. Now on a normal day, when you want to make a logo, you're supposed to have a brief. You're supposed to have a brief. That's like what the logo will be all about. So let me try to find a logo brief here. So that's how it's going to come in. Actually, it has to have like a brief. This is actually for some of a particular training I'm working on with. Alright, so it's supposed to have a brief. Like you can see, the name of the brand here is Samson, and the target audience it's fitness, athletes, and sports teams. So it's actually a brand that deals with sports apparel and equipment. So it's basically for a sport apparel brand that sells sports apparel like jersey, but the target audience is actually for fitness, athletes, and sports teams. So Samson is the brand name, you understand. And number 2 target audience is people who value performance, comfort, and style. Now the logo requirement is it has to be scalable for various applications. Number 2, it has to be simple yet distinctive and memorable. Number 3, it has to be versatile for different contexts, e.g. color, black and white, and icon only. Also, we have the design deliverables. We have 1, the primary logo, the wordmark logo, and the logo style guide, including the color palette, typography, and usage guidelines. Now I want to believe that we all understand what wordmark logo means. You understand? Now little tip: the power, strength, and fitness. Power, strength, and fitness. So all of these are what will come in from the logo brief. Now, because of the kind of country we find ourselves, the client might not be patient enough to have all of this and send them to you, but you also have to create it. It helps you to get a clear view of what exactly you want to do. You don't just jump into a logo project or a brand identity designing, and if you jump in, you're going to jump out without any tangible results. And I don't want something like that to happen to you. So this is like a brief. Let's just call it a brief, because it's actually not full enough. Because you're supposed to have like what is it called? It's supposed to have the mission, the vision, the objectives. You're also supposed to have like their competitors, the industry they are, all of those ones. But we are going to figure that out for our own. You understand? So for our own today, we are going to be working on a fictional brand called Joseph. Now the reason why I do all of this is because it's a new challenge. Now Samson in the Bible can be regarded as power, strength. He's a very fierce man, fought with lion and everything like that. So that kind of name still fits into fitness. But when we talk about Joseph, we know that Joseph is Jesus' father, and from what we gather from the Bible, is a carpenter. So we want to work on a brand identity design for Joseph. let's just imagine that Joseph is our client today, and we are, doing we are creating a brand identity design for him. You understand? So he should be happy. At least he gets to work for Jesus' father. And that is not God actually, but Joseph. So we are going to be creating a brand identity design for him. So I will know that Joseph was a carpenter, and because of the kind of life that we are now, let's call it furniture. Let's just call it furniture. Yeah, let's call it furniture, and if there's another better name we can come up with, let's call it furniture. And yeah, for the target audience, we know that it will be for high class, luxury, you understand, and also people who value performance, comfort and style. Yeah, comfort and style. Now the same thing happens to the logo requirement. Yes, you are still working with the same logo requirements. The design deliverables, you are also working with the same thing. Now the little tip is that is furniture, minimalistic and stylish, you understand. So that's what we're going to be working on. And I think I need to also mention to you that there are different qualities of a logo. Number one is that it has to be scalable. When I mean scalable, it means that you can adjust, you can increase and decrease without it deforming. It has to be scalable. You realize that Apple that produces iPhone 7 down to, I think the latest one is 15 now or something, and they are still the one producing MacBook, producing their desktop computers. You realize that it's not the same size of logo that on this product, you understand. So that is what like scalable means. You must be able to fit in, can scale up or scale down. And number two is that it has to be simple. A good logo has to be simple. It just has to be simple. Fine, looking at it might be simple. For example, like the Nike, we have like the Nike that it's just a swoosh, and except you read about the meaning, you might not really understand why they are using that swoosh. And I think I explained that, and we got to see the meaning in the last class. Also for Adidas, the mountain climbing icon, but it's just simple. Someone will just say Shebi is just 3 triangle that they've used to form the logo. That's how it is. But you as the designer and the client understands the rationale and the reason why you are coming up with that kind of logo. Do you understand? Now it also has to be memorable in the sense that it has to, anyone seeing your logo for the first time should be able to notice it because it's simple. Now when they're seeing it again, probably the second time, they should be able to have a glimpse of it, that I've seen something like this before. You should have been able to stock in their memory. That's what a good logo is, because it is only when it is simple that is when it will be memorable. Now a good logo has to be versatile, also versatile for different contexts. It has to be versatile. You can use it for black and white, you can use it for different colors. It has to be versatile. So every of these things, I'm going to be touching everything. Another thing is that it has to be timeless. It has to be timeless. It has to fit in this current time that we are, and you also have to fit in the next or future to come. So when you are creating a logo, you have to keep that in mind, because you realize that the Adidas, the Nike logo were created far back 1990 something plus, and it is still relevant even in our time here, and also will still be relevant in the future to come. Now even if it will be losing its relevance, they can just make little adjustments to it, just like the evolution of the different logos. Most times, maybe when a new CEO is coming in, decide to add something, or they are diving into another product and decide to incorporate it in their logo, they can now change the logo. But I'm very sure that it will still be timeless. It can still work in the next future. So any logo you are going to be creating, you have to think and look at it yourself, that will this logo still fit in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? Would they still be able to use this logo and it will still fit into the trend? You understand? And also you have to know the industry that you are going to be designing for. Like this Samsung now, it's a gym fitness stuff, you understand? So you know that the competitors or people that are in the same industry with it, that gymming, that's where it's like the Dr. Dre Fitness and every of those fitness company and everything. That is the competitor and those that you're going to look for. And for the Joseph that you're going to be creating, you know that you have to search for furniture company. The reason why we're going to be looking at them is how they create their logo, the story behind the creation of the logo, how they present their brand identity design, how they run their stuff. So that will give us the basis of what we are doing and to give us the understanding of how to attack the brief and to make sure that we are coming up with something valuable, something that is versatile, a logo that is scalable, simple and yet memorable, also a logo that is relevant and is timeless. So that is just what we are going to be doing today. So I need you to pay full attention, rapt attention. Don't let anything disturb you. It's just for the little time we are going to be spending together, just make sure that you are with me, you are paying full attention. So quickly, the first thing that we're going to be doing is to create a mood board. We create a mood board. So by that we'll have to check some other brands, how they do their stuff. We have to create mood board to create inspiration, obviously. Alright, so when we are trying to create a mood board, it's just us trying to check other brands. So the best place that you can go, you go to Pinterest, you can go to Behance is like is an online portfolio, and you can also go to Dribbble. I have my portfolio hosted on Dribbble, so you can go to dribbble.com just for us to check other people's work. Meanwhile, we are not going there to copy, just as some of other designers do, but we just want to check furniture logo design or logo design brand identity. Let's try to check furniture logo design. Let's make do with this too. Alright, so I think this is one. We have Couch Hero. Now they have their names, you understand, and also looking at the logo, this is a combination of C and H. Now in the first class, where we talk about different types of logo, I'm sure that you can identify the types of logo that this called Couch Hero falls under. The use of two brand initials. This is C and H. Alright, so we have the C and H, we have the logo mark itself, and we also have the word mark, which is the Couch Hero. So this showing that this is the combination mark. Do you understand? So we have the Couch Hero. When we are saying something has to be versatile, you can see the color here is not the same color here. Like the way it is being arranged is different. You understand? They are fitting into different background. So you can see that this is the color palette of the brand: the black, the yellow, and this gray like color. Now let's check for other ones. I'm trying to check the ones that are for furniture. Let's see. All these ones are not for furniture or home. These ones are home idea stuff. Alright, so basically everything that is just there. Okay, apart from even checking if they are furniture again, we just want to check how they present their stuff, how their presentation looks like. You understand how their presentation looks like, and and the color palette and how they do everything. Also, we are going to be introducing mockup files into it, just to have a feel of showing your clients how their work will look like in a real life application. So we are seeing all of these. So because I actually have a lot of mood boards, but if you are starting up, you can screenshot as much as you like. It's not for you to copy, it's just for you to have a feel of these things, how they work on their stuff, how it is being arranged, and how they deliver their stuff to their clients. Do you get? So that's what we are going to be working on, and we are going to be reflecting the same thing in today's class. Let's check for this. Alright, so sometimes when you look at the logo, you can look at it and know what the brand is probably about. This is futon, and I'm very sure you can notice that this is like a chair sitting. does not mean that it has to have F infused into it, or it has to have U infused into it. It depends on the kind of logo that you want to create. Now this one is just a logo mark, can be a logo symbol, can be a mascot, can be a word mark, just like we discussed. So it depends on what you want to create for the client. It depends on what you want to create for the client. If it's a letter form, it means that you are working with letter of the brand name. Now if the designer have wanted to work on the letter form, that have worked with F, that is starting the photon, just like we have Facebook and we have N for Netflix, you understand, but decided to work with this kind of logo. I'm sure it will have meaning. Do you understand? So it's going to have meaning, and just as you can see, this is the icon, we have the word mark, and we have the tagline. Alright, so I'm trying to see if the logo rationale is part of his presentation, but I guess it's not really part of it. Okay, I'm sure you can see the presentation, and it's looking sexy and very, very nice. So we are going to be doing same thing. So if you are not yet serious, or if you think we are still joking, don't play. Don't play, don't play, don't play, don't play, don't play, don't play, don't play. So you learn the hard way. Alright, so after coming like this and everything, then we now have to search. We have to have an inspiration. What is inspiring us? You understand? So let's search for furniture. Starting for furniture. Let's start with furniture. You understand? We start with furniture, and let's also search for letter H logo, because you don't want to do something that your clients will now go back and notice that someone have done something like that before. So you want to search and look at how people have done different series of letter H, different types of letter H. You might not be able to exhaust everything. It's just also to help you to notice that it does not have to completely look like H. It does not completely look like H. So far you have something that you have a good storyline behind it. It does not have to necessarily present the kind of H that we all know. Do you understand? So it's better on how you want to do it. You can see this is like a home logo, a real estate logo. You can see the home forming in the middle, and it's still letter H. You can see this, something like this. This one still having like an hatchet in it. So it depends on how you want to present your logo and how you want people to see it. Yoruba will say bonibagba ṣe fẹ́ kí ọba òun pé gbá ló ṣe máa pè, or something like that. So it depends on how you want to present it to your client and how you can interpret the brief. So it's just, let's just go feed our eyes and see a lot. Alright, so let's go to furniture. Let's see how it is being done. Let's notice the stuff. I think it's too big. Let me reduce small. Okay. So, and in furniture we have a lot of stuff there, but because he is a carpenter, we can either work with the couch, we can work with chair, we can work with bench, and anything. Right. So it's either we work with the J, or we can decide to work with an abstract stuff, or possibly we just want to work with any letter, since you can just decide to work with a letter form or anything that I want to do. So it also depends on what we want to create exactly. So that will lead us and give us what we want to do. So I think I like this. I think I like this. So let's visit there. Now you notice that we've not even talk about the software we want to use. That's because there's a lot of stuff that goes into getting everything you want to do, that goes into getting it. So we want to get our inspiration from here. So I'll let you know how we are going to get that inspiration. Let me copy it. And just as you know, for this class we're going to be working with the Adobe Illustrator. We'll be working with Adobe Illustrator because Adobe Illustrator is a raster based, no, is a vectorized based software, while the Photoshop is a raster based software. Vectorized based software in the sense that if you design with Photoshop and you increase to some certain level, like you scale it, it will start getting blur, but that cannot happen with Illustrator. So because we want our logo to be scalable, we don't want it to, you know, have any kind of blurry aspect or blurry sheet and a lot of stuff like that, we want to work in Adobe Illustrator. And for every Adobe applications, they have their uses and what they major into. AI, which is Adobe Illustrator, is used for vectorization, for icon, for cartooning, you know. Photoshop, most people use it for designing, they use it for editing pictures and, you know, for mockups, 3D mockups. We have Adobe InDesign for magazine, we have Adobe Premiere Pro for video editing, we have Adobe After Effects for animations, and even for video editing too. Do you understand? So every of these things, they belong to a family, but they also have what they major, you know, in or major on. Alright, so just, and all of them have the same interface, just like Photoshop that we are all accustomed with, you know. So alright, this is a logo I'm working on with a set of my students who are working on this. This is for a fitness brand actually, and the name of the brand is Gator. So we use the teeth of the alligator, combining with the electric lightning bolt. So that's actually what we had. That's what we do. And letter G, you get, so, and letter G. So that's what we'll be able to come up. Though we might still have a little bit of reservation about the logo, still working on that. Is, by the way, that is for another class. So let's start with ours. Are you ready? Alright, so I'm still working my 4x4 inches also, you know, with 300 resolution here in my Illustrator. So I just want to quickly come here and copy this image and bring it down to my Illustrator, and I Ctrl V. So and I Ctrl V. Yeah, so just keep calm. I know, okay, most of us are not familiar with this kind of software, but at least I'll make every tools I'm going to be using and make them simplified. Now because this is not what exactly I want, like it's too big or something like that, I just want to reduce a bit. You come here and you press fit on screen. So let's fit it on screen. Okay, let's try to give it 100%. Alright, let's give it 25%. Suppose, okay, I get. Let's reduce it to the barest minimum. Okay, now we want to crop this image. I just need a chair. Actually, I need a chair, and I think I'll begin with this one. I just need something like this. So the crop image is here. I want to crop on the image, so it's realized. I think this is the one I want to use, so I click on apply. Now this is the, let me fit it on the screen back. This is our canvas, but our picture is not on the canvas yet, so let's just drag it here, drag that bow inside. Let's drag it inside. So let's reduce again to 50. Let's reduce to 12%. So let's bring it inside. So you scale, let's try to scale it down. So when you are scaling Illustrator, hold your shift and drag down so that it will not reduce and deform. So let's bring them in. I guess it's okay now, so I can fit my screen back. Alright, I'm very sure someone is already looking now. We are working Joseph Furniture. Of course, what are we doing with this Mr. Man right here? But I also need to let you know that, you know, for every of the stuff we're going to be doing, it has to have meaning. It has to have a meaning. And what exactly are we doing with this stuff that, you know, that I want to present to you guys? You get? Alright, so I only want to work with something, and I said we can work with either J O S E P H, or we want to do a typography logo, which will be just the word Mark Joseph. But also we want it to make sure that anybody seeing it, and even the client, can get a glimpse of what the brand is all about. So that's why we are using furniture, and we're talking about it being luxury, a scalable design, a simple design, and something that will be memorable, and something that can be also timeless. So where I'm getting my inspiration from is something like this. Okay, sorry. So something like this. This. The truth is, you don't have to draw a chair. You don't have to draw a chair. You don't have to draw a chair before you can, use it to make a logo. Do you understand? So you don't have to draw a chair before you can use it to make a logo. So just this little place that I've highlighted is what I need, and that's like my source of inspiration for the logo. So I just want to duplicate this with Ctrl D. I want to duplicate that with Ctrl D, and I want to right click and go to transform, reflect, and I want to pick horizontal and say OK. So I want to have it this way. Now here it's looking like H. Okay, let me go back a little bit, because of some of us that we did not get. I actually work with the brush tool. The brush tool is just to highlight what I want to do in this place, just to highlight what I want to do as a source of my inspiration. You understand? Just as a source of inspiration. So that's why I'm picking it like this. Don't know why my hand is not going straight. No, I'm going straight. So like this, and I'm moving it like this. This is just to let you know what we are actually working with. You understand? So we can increase. Let's try to increase it, because now I'm trying to work with letter H, actually trying to work with letter H, and to just to make sure that it fits into what we are doing and it's still the same logo that we're working on. So just like I said, you can duplicate with Ctrl D, or you click on Alt and you drag out. You click on Alt, the Alt key, and you drag what you want to duplicate out. So you right click on it. Instead of rotating, the Illustrator have another one that says reflect. So once you click on reflect, it changes to something like, you can change it to vertical, change it to horizontal, any how you want to do it, but we need the horizontal in this class. So you can now use it to create and push it to see anything you want. Now just basically looking at this looking at this logo, you can figure out H, can figure out N, can figure out H, you can also figure out N. So anything you are creating has to be clear, simple, something that someone can see and understand, even without telling the person that this is what we are doing. So even without anyone seeing it, if anyone walking to our class now and see this thing on my screen, can still be able to detect that, okay, this thing is looking like N or is looking like H. Now because we don't want to cause any confusion for our client and for ourselves, let's be wise enough to bring out the letter N and H, letter N and letter H. Let's make them bigger, letter N and H. Alright, so let's have this here. Let me reduce them. We've not started designing the logo yet. Okay, we started actually, but I've not even gone into the vectorization anyways, but I'm just trying to make sure that I take you through the thought process. And the fact that we have this does not mean that that's what we are still going to come down with. Sometimes you can even sketch out like 7 different types of logo and everything. It's because I don't have a digital sketch pad. I would have preferred that we sketch like different ideas, but even with this one that we are working with, it shows that we can get something out of it. Now if we decide to make a drawing like this, something like this and something like this, it's might go with the N. I hope you're following me. It might go with the N, but we don't want something like that. We don't want something like that. So let's see what we can do to make sure it's giving us the edge that we want. So we can just give it a straight one like this and a straight one like this. So this is still like giving us the edge. Then we can try to clear out this part, this one that is here. We can try to clear it out. This one that is also here, we can try to clear it out. So basically all we just want to do is that we are working with the letter H, and we are also working with the furniture, because don't forget that we are working with Joseph, and is a brand that is working, or that what they do is about furniture. Now you don't have to limit yourself to this kind of scope. You don't have to limit yourself to this kind of scope. I am using this as my source of inspiration. You can decide to check for different types of furniture ideas, and you can be using the door, you can be using anything. Just make sure that it goes hand in hand with whatsoever you are trying to create. We can even go with this table. Can go with this table. Let me create another stuff for, so that it will not be stuck and think that okay, probably because it's something that is simple. So let's just go through this once and for all. It's not giving the full image. It's not giving the full image, but okay, let me reduce it a bit so that we can see. Alright, so we can see. We can also have something like this. We can have this line like this, standing like this with a demarcation, and it's still having the other stuff at the top. Now let me show you guys what I'm trying to do. Let me try to reduce this image a little bit so that we can have a clear view. Hold your shift, scale down. Hold your shift, scale down. Alright, so let me fit it on the screen. Okay, so we know how a normal stud looks like now. How a normal stood like. Now imagine that we want to work with J. This is like a perfect example for J, but are you going to curve it like this? So that you don't have to curve it like this, you understand? And sometimes you can even curve it like this, depending on how you want to do it. It depends on whatever you are working with, you understand? So this is also another form of inspiration, you understand? So let's just try to draw something out from this place. We want to move from here, go straight, come here, and we still have this border here. Alright, so let me close this, and we have this Mr. Man here. Okay, we have these two stuff here. So let me increase. When looking at this, you can see that it's still going to give us what we are trying to work on in the other aspects. I reflect. Okay, it's still giving me the stud vibe, you get. So depending on how we want to make it look, we can now say it's looking different from this is looking different from this, and it's looking different also. So here we can decide that okay, this is how we want to do this one. You get, this is still giving us the H vibe, this is also giving us the H vibe, but left to you, you are the designer. And most time as logo designers, we create like different logo variations. Like we can have like 3 for the brands to choose the one they want to work with. So we have 2 stuff on our hands now. It depends on how exactly we want to deal with the 2. And even the first part is that we might decide that we don't want to add this to it, that we just want to have it like this. Sorry, just want to have these 2 together like this. Let it come down so it will not be giving the N vibe. I'm trying to be careful because of the N and it's looking like H. So this can also work, and depending on you as the designer, this can also work. Okay, sorry, you have to be careful when you're working with this Illustrator. So this can also work H like this, or we pin it up like this as letter H. So it depends on what exactly you want to go with. So which one should we pick? Either this option A or we pick option B. Alright, so there's no one that will pick actually that is not nice, knowing fully well that we understand what exactly we are working with. So I think this, I just love this, with the fact that we have to just get a new one, so it won't look as if I already pre-planned this before. So let's just move with this and let's see what we are going to come up with it. So I want to delete all of this because this is not what we are going to be using. I'll delete all of this and come up with a new sketch entirely. Now you want to be careful when you're using Illustrator, and because of that we are going to be working with the line tool, because we want to create a perfect shape and we want to create a very good and timeless logo. So the other one I just did the other time was just to analyze and to get inspiration, get the drawing. It's because I don't have a digital sketch pad. I would have sketched out like 5 different types of logo with different inspiration, just come up with what we want, and you'll be able to pick and select and have different options for yourself to pick and check the one that really flows with your spirit or really flows with what the client wants. You understand? Now it's not even what flows with your spirit again, it has to be what the client wants. So most times after we finish sketching, we sketch like 3 different logos, 5 different logos, we send to this client, and every of these 5 logos, they have their explanation. So if the client is pleased with what you're sending, if the client is okay with what you are sending to her or him, they can pick one. Okay, let's go with this. Then you now work on the logo. Sometimes depending on your clients, you have to design every of those options as logo, like normal logo. Then once they pick them, then you know that you are just working with the one they've picked, and you continue the brand identity design flow. Do we understand? So let's get started. We are going to be working with the line segment tool. We are going to be working with the line segment to make sure that you off your fill, and the stroke here is what we are going to be working with. I'm going to keep my stroke to 0.75. Your fill, just like we have in Photoshop, the feeling is that when you draw a shape, you don't want it to be filled inside, you only want the stroke. So instead of using FX in Photoshop, this is where it's going to be once you click the shape tool and you click on the line segment tool. Do you understand? So I want to draw a definite shape. No, that's not what I need. I want to draw something like this. Yes, I want to draw something like this, and I also want to duplicate it with either alt and drag, or I press Ctrl D. Yeah, so I want to click on it, transform and reflect. Okay, so I want to adjust a little bit, like this, you know. So I want to pick my line tool again. Of course I have to draw a straight line for this tool to be complete, and I also want to give it a straight tool line here for this tool, you know, base, for this tool base. Alright, so for this tool base, let's have another one down here. Now when you want to draw a straight stuff like this, a straight line, and you don't want something like this or something, you want something straight and you're not sure of your hand, just hold on shift and it's going to, you can see I'm trying to move my hand down, you can see it's not even bringing it down, it's going straight. Just hold on shift and do that, hold on shift and draw it, then you release your hand. Now hold your shift, draw. Okay, you hold your shift for this one, so release your hand from the mouse first before the shift. Alright, so this is what we have. It's not looking like it yet, but just follow me. Let's see what we're going to do. So you will want to highlight everything. Now we want to make it a definite shape. So it will look like what we want it to look like. Actually, you know, we are working with the letter H, and you know, we are working with Joseph, and we are trying to create a logo. So once we've done something like this, you can see everything I have done, they are touching each other. They are overlapping on it, touching each other, even this one up, because by the time we want to create it as shape, the AI tool really recognize things that are lapping each other so that it can pick them as a shape. Alright, so once we highlight them, you highlight everything like this. There's another tool here called the shape builder. Now everything I've done, I've just worked with the brush tool, the same thing you use in Photoshop. The line tool is also in Photoshop under the shape tool. The only new tool that I'll be introducing here is the shape builder. So once you click on the shape builder, you can see that automatically it's selecting this place. Because they are, you know, they are definite, they are lapping over each other. So let me do this for you. Let me push this up a little bit, and let me highlight them, and let me take the shape builder. You can see that this place is not highlighting, but this place is highlighting. That's because they are overlapping and they are meeting each other. There's no space between them. Yes, that's the right word. There's no space between them. They are overlapping. But in this place, is because this place is open. So if we bring back the polygon son in here and we highlight again and we do this, you see that we are, you know, it's getting picked. So when you wanted to draw these lines, I told you to off the fill, but now that I want to work with the shape builder, you on the fill back and give it black. Let's give it black first, and you off the stroke. Yes, so all you just have to do is click here, it gives you the color that I want, and let's click here to give us the color that we want. And now we have our stroke. Now we can also decide that, okay, this might not be looking as, you know, stood enough, so let's move back, let's drift back a little bit. And what do? Let's take this, duplicate, like this, hold Alt and drag. Now we have to, right? So because you don't want to have something that is not definite, we'll pick this, hold Control, hold Shift, and pick this, just to pick these two. Then you can hold Control and drag. So is either you hold Shift to pick the two, or you just highlight the two like this, and you Control D to duplicate, and just like we do, transform, make it reflect, and okay, then push it. So let's leave it like this so that it can still meet here. Then we'll bring back this Mr. Man here. Okay, so I want to make sure that this place it's also alright. So let's highlight again and click on our shape builder. Make sure that our fill is enabled this time and the stroke is off. So we are giving this black, and we want to give this black too, so that you can still have the feel of that tool. Give this. You can see I'm evading this one in the middle because we want it to have a feel of edge and what we are working with directly. So this is what we are able to come up with. Or another thing that we might want to do, that the reason why having something like this, because we did not sketch. If we have sketched, we would have like a clear stuff that we want to do, what exactly we want to do. But nevertheless, this is also still looking nice since we are just creating it, and it's also like a challenge for me because I've not worked on this project earlier before. It's not like I prepared for the class. I just decided that okay, I'm going to be working with Joseph. I'll be working on the Bible names with what they are doing. So for the assignment, you can opt for anybody in the Bible. Just go back to it and know the person's occupation or what the person was known for. So that we still have all this extra stuff there. Would they be like that in our logo? No, we are not creating a conga drum. So all you want to do again is to pick the shape builder and this time we want to remove all these jagbajantis that is here, all this extra jagbajantis that is here. So what do we do to them? When you take your shape builder tool, then you hold Alt. When you hold Alt, you can see it's staying here, there's nothing here, but when I hold Alt, it's going to turn to red. So it's just for you to, is highlighting those things that it feels it's not needed there. So we highlight everything and we push them away. So hold your Alt and click on this, it deletes it immediately. Delete this one with hold Alt, keep holding your Alt, delete this, delete this, delete this. So every unwanted power and principalities that you don't want in your logo, just keep deleting. Just left click, hold your Alt, left click, this and this. So I think the rest are what I need for my logo. Yes, and after we have something like this, you want to close this, want to remove the stroke. Yes, you want to remove the stroke. Okay, we ought to join these two together. They're not supposed to be separate stuff. So let's just join these two together with our shape builder. They're supposed to be 1, so that when you move you can move 1, when you move you can move 1, when you move you can move 1, move you can move 1. Alright, so everything that we've done here is just to make sure that we have logo and it has meaning. You understand? It has meaning, and you know, we have our thought process, our mood board, inspirations, and how we come up with this stuff we are using. Yeah, so that is how we want to do it. Then, just like we agreed on, just want to Control D this Mr. Man here, so that we can, you know, make it what we want to do, or we alt and drag. So click on it, transform, you reflect, and we have this here. So looking at it now, you might say that okay, let's just scale it down a little bit just to give us the form of the H that we want. You understand? Just drag and adjust the way you want it. Adjust the way you want. Now you can decide to give the cross. If we want it, you can decide to put the cross there, and if we feel like it's not needed, we can just leave it. But me personally, I feel like this is okay. Let's just leave it like this. Let's keep them guessing what exactly this logo is all about. So I want to save, and I want to give it Joseph. So I want to create a new folder. Just like I said, it's a new stuff for me. No, not inside this place. That works. New Joseph, then open and save it. Okay. Alright, then we want to file, export as PNG, export 300. Make sure that is in the highest resolution, 300, and you click OK. Do you get it? So you're clicking OK. Also, let's try to create something with this thing. Also, it's the same thing actually, but let's work with these things that we have, so at least we'll be able to track back our knowledge again to see if we still understood everything that I mentioned. Now this is a bit simple than this Mr. Man here, at least. So once you drag, just drag this way, then you do what? You Control D or you Alt and drag. Sometimes if the Control D is not working, just Alt and drag. Just move away from that. Alright, you can adjust, then give it up and down, just like I said. Hold your shift, drag, remove your hand from your mouse, then you take away the shift. Also come down here, hold your shift, drag, remove your hand from the mouse, and you're good. Then you highlight and you go back to your shape builder. You can see it's highlighted already, but also you have to make sure that you turn on your fill and you close the stroke. So I want to pick this like this. Yeah, so because I don't need all this unwanted Mr. Man's. Yeah, so what do? I just click on Alt and I click on this, drag back down, Alt, this, Alt and click, Alt and click, Alt and click, and yeah, voila, I have what I need. So here also I want to remove the stroke and make it just simple as everything. So I have this and I want to duplicate it, transform and reflect. Okay, bring it like this, hold the 2 making it look exactly how we want it to look. Okay, I think it has this straight stuff in it, right? So we want to use the line again. Use the line to create, hold your shift and drag just like we said the other time, but you can see that our fill and everything is not on, so just give it stroke, the black stroke back, and you can see it's having it. Then depending on how we want it to look like, then we can hold our shift and give it here also. We click OK. Are we leaving it like this? No, obviously. Let's highlight everything back and take our shape builder and we give our fill and we move the stroke and pick everything together so it can give us this. So well, obviously we still have all this extra guys here. So you want to hold your alt and delete them, and yes, we are good. We have our age, and let's save this also as PNG Joseph 2. Export 300 and we are okay. So I'm going to be saving this to Joseph 2. Alright, so now we have two logo on our ends and it is left for us to pick which one are we going to be working with. So is it this or this? Alright, so on the next class we are going to be preaching any of the selected one and we are going to take it back to our dear Photoshop to create a form of brand identity process. I hope you enjoyed the class, and there's something simple. The only thing that you need is, once you've make sure that you have your idea, your inspiration, what's giving you the inspiration, you sketch them out. No matter how stupid or crazy they might look, sketch them out. No one can, except you tell the person that this is a stool, and because it's a furniture stuff, the people might not actually realize what is in it. You understand? So except that you are the one telling that, okay, this is what is it, this is what it is. You understand? So no matter how stupid it might look, no matter how unreasonable it might sound or it might look to you, even to you, just put them down, jot them down, sketch them out. You don't have to be an engineering student. You don't have to understand what 3D or technical drawing looks like. With time, once you start sketching, it gets better. But sketching every ideas you have, sketching anything you that drops to your mind at that process of you designing that logo is really important, so that you can join everything together and it's going to form something very, very simple. You've been able to create a logo, two logos actually, out of the same inspiration but different style, because we're having this kind of space here, and we also have this that is just the normal full stool. Okay, this one is not from a stool. This one is from, is it a chair now? Okay, let's call it a chair, while this is also from a stool created by Joseph. So you can realize that we add two inspirations, brought our thought process together, and the same way we have this, we are having the letter H, letter H plus chair stand. Don't know if that's the right for it, but I'm sure you guys understand what I'm saying. So we have letter H plus chair stand. Same way for here, we have letter H plus stool. Is it a stool or a stool? Anyone? So we I've just been able to, you know, metal shell. Okay, brown and black will be metal shell. Alright, so we've been able to come to the end of this section, having two logos that we can work with. Difference is clear, no space here. This is having the connection between the bolts, and space here, no connection, but it's still giving us what exactly we want. Thank you. I hope you have a good day.